Good evening, everyone. I apologize for being late, but I just could not let tonight pass and not do Transparent Tuesday. I just got in from Arizona, and this was the first thing on my agenda. Tonight, I know my lighting's a little off. I'm trying to get it together. Okay, so tonight I wanted to talk about failure as a parent, failing our children. God literally just dealt with me on this today. So I wanted to come and to be transparent and to share it with you guys. So the scriptures that he gave me on this is Proverbs 13:24. And it says, those who spare the rod discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. And then the other one is Proverbs 22:6, which says, direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. So the reason I titled this Failing Our Children, or Failure as a Parent, is because, as you guys know, I was in a toxic relationship, and I didn't pay attention to the effects that it would have on my children, especially my oldest son. Towards the end of that relationship, my oldest son had to step into the head of the household role as the male figure. There were things that happened and that went on, and he had to step up and be strong for me and for his brothers. And I failed him because I failed to protect him and to be strong for him and his brothers. He shouldn't have had to step up, and be in that role. He should have been able to be a child. Now rewind 2 years later, he's 13 years old, and he doesn't have to be that, but he doesn't know how to be a 13-year-old kid. Since he had to step up in that role, now his mindset is like an adult, and he's not an adult. He's a child. Well, he's a teenager. Me being a mom and feeling guilty for the things that I did and I allowed to happen when I failed him, I give him a lot of leeway. I try to give him everything that he wants because I feel like I failed him. I owe him. I need to make this right in some type of way. Not paying attention to the fact that I'm still failing him and not protecting him from himself. God has changed our life and our situation. I have remarried, and we have a protector, a provider, a guider in the household, and my son does not have to be in that role anymore. But because I'm trying to pacify the past, I'm trying to remedy the past, I'm trying to make it better in so many words, I failed to be the mom and the parent that he needs now. The key word is all of that is in the past. Oh, excuse me. And with all of that being in the past and the fact that he's a teenager now, he thinks he can say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. Or he can express his feelings in a disrespectful way. And that is not the case because he's not an adult. He's still a young man and he's supposed to stay in his place. And my failure is, which I see now and I'm correcting, is not disciplining him when he should have been disciplined. I should have nipped it in the bud in the first place when he started getting out of line, and I did not do that. So now I've created, he's not a monster, but he's a big brat, basically. And he doesn't know his right role in his right place. And because I didn't protect and provide and correct and do what I was supposed to do in the beginning and allowed him to step into that role to protect me and his brothers, he doesn't know the right role that he should be in now. So, as we were driving home from Arizona today, God gave me these scriptures, and God reminded me that I'm not doing my due diligence at the moment because I'm allowing him to get away with these behaviors. I'm in a sense, rewarding him because I'm buying everything that he wants. I'm allowing him to go everywhere that he wants. And I'm not correcting him. I'm making excuses. Well, he's this way because of what happened in the past, or he's this way because I didn't do this or I didn't do that. When all of that is in the past, and right now at the moment, he needs to know that he's a 13-year-old young man. He needs to respect adults and he needs to stay in his place. There's always a time and a place for everything, but the correction is my responsibility. And it's not my responsibility to get in the way when my husband or another adult that loves him is trying to correct him. It is my responsibility to understand that correction is a part of life. I'm 32 years old and I still have a village that's helping raise me in a sense. I have a coach, I have a sister, I have a wonderful mother-in-law. Like, I have all these people in place that help me and are maturing me. So why would I think that my 13-year-old child doesn't need the same thing? Being able to recognize your wrongs and recognize where you failed, because we all make those mistakes. Sometimes we're in situations and we're so busy thinking about our hurt and thinking about our pain that we don't realize the pain and the hurt that it causes our children. And then when they start getting older and we start seeing the effects of it, either you correct it or you pacify it. And what I've been doing is pacifying it and trying to justify it. And that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be raising him in the way that he should go. As of right now, the mistakes that I've been making is I'm letting him know, oh, it's okay for you to do that. It's okay to talk back or be disrespectful or act like you're the man in the house and you're supposed to be running everything. And no, it's not okay. That's not how it goes. We have the correct overseer and husband, father in the house. And now is the time for him to be that kid that he wasn't able to be, to live, to have fun, to enjoy life, but do it in a child's place and not in an adult's place. So I wanted to share this with you guys because, like I said, God just literally dealt with me on this today on my way home from Arizona, and he gave me the scriptures and I was studying them and reading them and fell asleep and just was thinking about them on my way home. And I said, you know what? I failed him. I failed him in the past because I didn't protect him the way that I was supposed to. And he was in a role that he shouldn't have been. And now I've been failing him because I'm not saving him from himself, which is self-destruction. I'm pacifying it, and I'm basically saying that it's okay when it's not. So by me realizing and God bringing to my attention the things that I am doing wrong, I'm going to be making the changes to correct it. When I read this scripture and it said to direct your child onto the right path, and when they are older, they will never leave it, I thought about myself and I thought about some of the old values that I have from a kid. For example, like I said, I'm 32 years old. I still will not disrespect someone older than me. Even if they disrespect me, I'm not going to do it. And that's just something that I remember from being a kid. So this hits home directly with me because I still have values from when I was a kid that I still rely on now. It's never too late to correct a mistake. I'm glad that I'm learning this now, and my children, my oldest is still young enough for me to correct it now, for me to guide him in the right path now. And those are the changes that I'm going to be making. You know, I can't speak for anyone else, but I can just be transparent and just share what I've learned. And this is what I'm learning. I'm learning that in the past, yes, I failed. I didn't do my due diligence as a mother. I didn't protect. I didn't guide. I allowed my child to have to step up and be a man, and he was still a kid. And that robbed him of his childhood. And now he doesn't know how to be the young man that he is to be in his age as a 13-year-old young man. And now I have to correct him for that. And I cannot keep trying to put a Band-Aid over the past. We had a conversation today, And, you know, I allowed him and tried to put everything on the table. But now it's all about moving forward, and it's all about healing. Because once you know what the mistake is, you don't need to dwell on it. You don't need to just sit there and allow the guilt to eat you up. And that's what I've been doing, is allowing my mom guilt to eat me up. And I've been moving in that guilt instead of moving in the time and the present as to what needs to be done, and being the mom that I need to be right here and now. Not worrying about the past, because it's already gone, it's already done, it's already said. You know, I can't do anything to change it. But all I can do is change now, change the present, change the future. And it starts now. So, again, those scriptures were Proverbs 13:24 and Proverbs 22:6. I know now to be mindful of the overall situation. I have children, and it's not just about me. It's about my husband, and it's about my children as well. And it's all about us having a strong foundation and moving as a unit. We can't change the past. We can't do anything about it. But we can learn from it and move on from there. So I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that, you know, like I said, I know we all make mistakes. There's no guide as to being a parent. There's no how to do this. Everyone learns basically as they go. And those were the mistakes that I've made. And now that I know what they are, I'm going to correct them, because I do not want any of my children to grow up and become what they've seen, what they've heard, what they've experienced, instead of being the young, respectful men that I know that they can be. You guys all have a wonderful evening. Continue to stay safe, and I will see you next week for Transparent Tuesday. Goodbye.